Okay, here we are. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our first episode of Ferrières Insight in the new year. So happy new year to all of you. It's our fourth session of Ferrières Insight, our monthly streaming show in which we talk with hospitality experts from around the world and talking about their experiences. And hopefully this will bring to our audience ideas and insights and will inspire them about our industry and how great an industry it is. And it will hopefully build also their knowledge. So my name is Willem van Rossem. I am the host this evening. And I am the campus manager of the Barcelona campus of Ferrières Luxury Hospitality Management School, and also in charge of international partnerships. And I'm really honored today to have two fantastic guests. We have celebrity chef Maroun Chedid from Lebanon, and Schomann, managing director and owner of Hotel Republic, based in London. So as we always do, we're going to have our conversation together, but also you audience, you can participate in this, be part of this by putting your questions in the chat. And then in the last 10, 15 minutes, we will spend time on and go about your questions. Before we start, I would like to tell you that this program is brought to you by Ferrières Hospitality and Luxury Management School in Paris, one of the premier hotel schools in Europe. And before we start the conversation, I want to talk a little bit about the school and show a brief video and talk just 2-3 minutes about what we have to offer. And then we'll dive straight into the conversation with our guests. So I'm going to briefly, share the screen. So let me first start with talk a little bit about our school. Have a small video. Hey, some images of our school, and just to give a brief overview of the Ferrières universe, we are 30 minutes east of Paris and in the beautiful idyllic village of Ferrières-en-Brie, where you find our campus, surrounded by the castle in the heart of the campus and surrounded by a variety of beautiful buildings. We have our atelier, which is where a lot of the classes take place. By the way, also we have classes inside the castle, the Château de Ferrières, hence the name, in which we have two restaurants, a fine dining restaurant and a bistro. You'll find also apartments and student residences nearby. And also within a walking distance, we have our own hotel, the Hotel Paxton, a 4-star hotel with a spa, with a convention center, restaurants, bowling, as well as across the street we have Biomonde, which is our ecological supermarket, and Madeleine by Ferrières, our gourmet pastry shop. All of this where our students will be working as well as they join the school, if they please to do so. We pride ourselves of really be focused on 3 elements of entrepreneurship, so really bring out the entrepreneur in everyone. Actually, today, our 2 guests are entrepreneurs by themselves. We'll talk about that. We focus also a lot of innovation, of course, constantly changing world. So we have to change with that and adapt our products and services to our guests. So we focus on innovation and positive education, really building on the positive elements, the qualities, virtues of our students, and approach them from a very positive perspective. Our classes, our program is very unique. We call it the 70-20-10 rule. So 10% of the classes of your program is only made up of traditional classes with teachers in classrooms and to get the academic basic. But then 20% is interaction with professionals, whether it's in the class or master classes. We have a lot of hospitality experts who come and share their insights with us in the school and also in projects, visits. And then 70% is really practical. So we put a lot of emphasis on doing. You cannot learn an industry just in a classroom. You have to live it, do it, feel it. So very hands-on focused, working in hotels, restaurants, our own, and then the internships as well. So, and also the infamous PAP. We have a professional acceleration program, which allows students to get to know all the areas of a hotel, ranging from restaurants, and so food and beverage, front office, sales, marketing, etc. So they really have a full perspective of what the industry is about, and also find out what where their passion and interest lies. So that is the PAP, the Program for Accelerated Professionalism. Briefly, our programs that we offer, we have the Bachelor of Arts, which is a 3-year program in French. The Bachelor Essentia is a 1-year program, basically for those that already studied 2 years at a university and want to shift to hospitality. IBBA, the International Bachelor of Business Administration, is a 4-year program in English. And then we have the Parcours Grande École, which is a 5-year program, which entails basically the IBBA plus our master program into one. And then we have our master program, our Master of Science of 18 months. I want to say that IBBA, Parcours Grande École, and the MSc are in English. In terms of specializations, there's a variety. You can basically go in so many ways, as you see here on the screen. While the Bachelor of Arts is more focused on operational sides, if you want to go into gastronomy or in rooms operations, then the IBBA is more focused on leadership positions in perhaps big hotel groups, in luxury hotels, and you can focus on specialize in many different areas, ranging from sales and marketing to wine, food and beverage, human resources, revenue management, etc. And the same holds true for our Parcours Grande École and our Master of Science. So regardless of your passion and your interest, you'll find your place with us. And we are a very internationally oriented school. So, and I talked about the many, the emphasis on international and practical elements. So here you see just some examples of our students in their internships literally across the globe, from London and Paris to Moscow and Bora Bora and everything in between in beautiful luxury hotels. And talking about luxury hotels, we work with some of the finest companies in the world. You can see them here in hotel, in restaurants, but also in luxury retail. So we'll be able to help our students find their path and find their destiny. Also, we work with a lot of very high-end, very famous hotel schools and universities across the globe, where students can also go abroad for a semester or stay also within in France as well. Briefly, before we leave, I just want to mention quickly that this summer we have the summer camp coming up in Paris from June 30th through July 7th, which is a great way for people who want to perhaps get a sense of what hospitality is all about to come with us for a week and be immersed in the world of hospitality and do all kinds of fun and hand-on experiences ranging from service excellence, art de la table, pastry, wine tasting, gourmet dinners, and also visits to Disneyland Paris and a luxury hotel. So let us know if you would like to get into that program. And for more information, please check us out on our website. And here you find also our email. And please, we'll be delighted to share our wonderful school with you. All right. Having said that, let's dive right into our conversation. Gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you, Chef Maroun Chedid, chef, restaurateur, and owner of a variety of restaurants, a cooking academy, the corporate trade consulting, the Citrus by MC Catering, etc., a long, long list, chef. And Kai Schomann, managing director and owner of Hotel Republic. So yes, I always want to start, I always ask my guests the same, how did you get into hospitality? Chef, if you want to start, how did you get into the wonderful world of, in your case, of food and beverage?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for this beautiful gathering, let me say, and for allowing us to share our experience and our passion about our industry. Coming back to your question, honestly, you know, I've been all over the world. So for some prizes I've got. So when I'm the podium, they always ask me the same question, and this answer is always the same. You know, back in 1980, 87, something like that. You know, Lebanon was in the war, and we don't know what to do. So I was like living in the countryside in a small village, where like living with the family, and my sisters didn't have the chance to come. They went to university, so it was so complicated. My brother the same. Well, I said, you know what? I want to go technical. I want to do something. I don't know what it is. So I met a friend. I asked the friend. I told him, though I was good at school, I told him, George, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm doing hospitality and hotellery and restaurant. I asked him, so what does this mean? So what's the work that I can do? You can be a chef, but he said in a very Arabic word that we don't like to use, you know, or you can be a cook, or you can be a serveur, garçon. Okay, I said, well, can I find a job when I finish? He said, yes. Do I have to study a lot? He said, no. There's a lot of math. He said, no. And can I make good salary? He said, yes. Then I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. And, you know, sometimes in our lives, things are just meant to be for us. And I went into hospitality, and I can tell you, I think I have never done something else in my life since I started, since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And I'm so happy that I have had this conversation back 35 years back, and it's made me what I am today.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Kai, what is your path into hospitality?
Yeah, so I wanted to go to hospitality when I was very young. So we went on holiday every year, and we stayed in hotels, and I just loved staying in hotels. I loved the big buildings. I loved the long corridors. You know, I was only a child then. And I loved the big breakfast buffet. And it was just, you know, it was the hotels had something.
Magic.
And when I was 16 years old, I basically went to my parents and I sat them down and I said, I don't want to continue school. I don't want to do my A-levels. I want to work in hotels. And my parents were a bit, I'm 16, they wanted me to do my A-levels, but they really saw that I had such a passion for it, and they helped me to get an apprenticeship, and that's what I did back in Germany. And I found a lovely hotel, and I worked there for 3 years in every single department, from kitchen to housekeeping. I did that, so maintenance, I mean, everything, you name it. And I absolutely loved it. And we had a school as well once a week, which we had to visit. And and that's how I got into hospitality.
Nice.
And I don't regret it at all. Yeah.
Good. Actually, Kai, also, of course, our main campus, Ferrières, is, as I said, 30 kilometers east of Paris. But also close to Disney, right? To Disneyland Paris, where you and I met, of course, right? So
yes, yeah. So I worked at Disney. For 7 years, and that was just lovely. I only wanted to stay for a year, and I ended up staying for 7 years. I really, really loved it, and that for me was my kind of university. And it was really good.
What did Disney teach you? You say university, right? What did Disney teach you? What you walked away with from Disney?
So when I started at Disney, I was very young. I was 20. I think I was 22 or 21, and I started in reception, guest services at the Disneyland Hotel. And then I went to convention sales afterwards, and I learned the attention to detail. I think that's something that I learned at Disney, and to be, to prepare yourself, and we had to organize really big events at Disney. Some of these events were like for 2,000 people, so you really had to be organized, and they really told you how to, to get the attention to detail, that everything goes smoothly, and that's what I really enjoyed at Disney. Nice. They were very good at that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Chef, you stumbled into the world of food and beverage, so you're clearly a food lover, right? What is it about food? What are you so passionate about? What?
Well, you know what? It's I would say, I stumbled into this world, and obviously my parents were against the idea, and obviously also I come from family where we, when I was a kid and until today, we have our lands, we have our also we're farmers in basic principles. So we have our land, so we do our own veggies. I come from the Bekaa Valley, and the Bekaa Valley is a very fertile area. So where we do it was seasonal. So the tomato in the season, the cucumber in the season, the grapes, the wine, the arak, the all the pantry, what we call moune, and my mother was like, and I used to work on all of these by hand. I used to help my parents go like to pick up the apple, the banana, the olives, and help in watering and all these kind of things. And my mother was like one of those magician in the cuisine, and she really was, and she always does the table, and she always does new things. Though my mother was illiterate, but she was, I don't know, so everyone knows her in our hometown. So I think my passion for food and my love as a foodie. It came from my mother, came from my family, came from where I came from, which is, and from the whole family, from my grandmother and from the two grandmothers. So and then I started working, and when I went into the school of culinary, and I found out that everything that I was told is wrong. So it was the other way around. So I have to work a lot, study a lot, and don't ask me why, I was always, like major in the school, and I was always sitting in the front, and or wherever I do training, all the chefs, they give me attention. So all the small and the tricky, small, tiny details. So there is only Maroun come, he has the fingers. So I think all of this, it was born. It was born. It came from home. And obviously, I love it, and I worked a lot on it. And then I started to work on all these kind of skills, and so yeah. And today, you tell me what you like to do. If you ask me the question, I would tell you I will be a chef, nothing else.
Great.
So yeah, and plus, what's important? It's very important to mention. When we travel a lot and we get a lot of influence from around the world, and in our business and our career, I wouldn't say business, in our career and in our profession, it's very important because getting the influence, being with people from other nationalities, being introduced to other cuisine, to other countries, to other cultures, to other let me say cultures, because this is what it is. So this is also what make us and what help us in really forging our skills, forging our personality, forging our passion.
Yeah, that's of course one of the great things of our industry, right? It allows us to work and travel and live everywhere, right, across the globe. Yeah, and it forges you, as you say, your personality. Kai, you of course after the hotels went a different path, right? You went to now in the world of mice and sales.
Yeah.
So perhaps talk a little bit about that. Our audience might even know what mice stands for. They think perhaps Mickey Mouse mice. So different.
I know. I worked at Mickey Mouse and now I do mice sales. So my whole career is full of mouse and mice. So mice basically stands for meetings, incentives, conferences, and events or exhibitions. That's what MICE stands for.
Yeah.
And we are a representation company for hotels. So we work with independent hotels and all over the world, and they sign contracts with us, and then we become their sales office for the UK market. So we then have to go out and speak to our UK conference buyers and make sure that they book our hotels for events, conferences, incentives, and more exhibitions, and that's really what we do. So we become part of the hotel sales team, and make sure we get some nice confirmed events to our hotels.
So of course, this is great because, as you say, individual hotels, they don't have this international network or corporate offices like the big hotel groups and chains. So, but now you're leveling the playing field in a way, right?
So basically, when you work for an independent hotel, you don't have this big setup like you have with Marriott or Accor, IHG. These are big companies, and they have offices all over the world. And independent hotels, they don't have that. So they need to work with companies like us in order to target a market. And the UK market has always been one of the biggest markets for international hotels in terms of events, conferences, and exhibitions. So it's a very, very important market. And as an independent hotel, you have to somehow tap into that market, and you need help. You can't do it on your own. And we have been doing this for a very long time. I have a lovely team, and they have been with me for many, many years, and they know the market inside out. And so a hotel comes to us, and then we get them on the map, basically.
Yeah. Nice.
And then there are companies like Hotel Republic. There are other companies in Germany. They do, they know the German market. Other companies will know the Scandinavian market. But we are specialized in the UK market.
Excellent.
Nice.
Talking about hotels and chef, whether it's a restaurant in a hotel or an independent or an individual restaurant, it's a tough business, right? It's you sometimes, and our audience sure knows these programs like Hell's Kitchen, and where of course restaurants are struggling to be profitable. So, and sometimes in a hotel setting, that's even more difficult for a hotel restaurant to really work and bring in people and money. what is key? What is the key to success for a restaurant to be successful, to be profitable? What do you think?
Well, I think, it's for a restaurant to be profitable, it's a series of criterias and milestones that we have to take into account before opening a restaurant. Starting first of all from the idea, from the ideation of the restaurant, from the concept, from the narrative of the restaurant, what it is, from the market. So we do like a thorough market study, and we see in this market, what does this market need? Which kind of restaurant, which kind of food, which kind of, be it a high end, be it a medium end, be it a fast casual. So it's not like I want to open a restaurant. I have some good money in the bank, and it's a good business. It's not a trip, It's very tough and rough.
Yeah.
So if we have the right narrative and the right concept, and if we build on it the right branding and the right idea and the right interior, because we start with the concept and then we go for the interior designers so they can follow, and then we start projecting on the menu and the food, and then with having the right team, obviously, because at the end of the day, it's all about the people. Yeah. And this is where the role of Ferrières and the like, to forge, let me say this word, the student, who are the future, who would come to us, and this is also, we take them by the hand to help us in building these restaurants. So yes, it's the concept, it's the interior, it's the location, obviously, and then when we start the operation, starting having the right people, the right food, the consistency is very important. Because in restaurant we focus on three axes. It's the presentation, it's the taste, it's the texture, and obviously it's the service. So every touch point of the guest, from the valet to the valet, this we take into account. And obviously every end of the month we have to look to our P&L.
Yeah.
So, and this is where it's very important to have the right team and the right cost control department and finance department to help us in showing us the way. Well, listen, this month we have this and this and this. So we take corrective action month over month, looking at our marketing team. So where we should focus. So it's all these criteria to make a restaurant successful.
Yeah. A lot of moving parts, right?
A lot of moving parts. Yeah, it's not just the food and the celebrity chef who open a restaurant and then people will come and keep on coming. Today the competition is very tough all over the world. And we all have to be on top of our game. And staying on top of our game, it's you have the operation and you have the management part, which for me they are equally important. The operation is what people see. They see the chef, they see the maitre d', they see the barman, but all what's the back office it's where it all happens. Yeah. So which client and guest doesn't really know, So I think this is very important. Just to make a restaurant successful today.
Yeah. Guy, moving back to the world of mice, of course, in the last 10, 15 years, it has an exponential growth, right? The meeting and events industry. And then with COVID, it fell flat. And some people thought, well, now mice is dead. It will never resuscitate. But it seems that it has come back stronger than ever before. How is it? Why is that? How do you explain that?
I think that's one of the perfect examples that you don't have to believe everything people say. MICE is so important, and conferences for hotels are so important. And during the COVID, we weren't able to do those. I mean, it wasn't allowed to have a conference, and everybody thought, oh yeah, this is the end. Nobody wants to do a big event anymore. And then people moved online and did these kind of webinars, and everyone said that's the future, and no more business. And it really wasn't true. People didn't like the webinars because yes, it's good for what we're doing right now, but for a conference or to motivate your team, if you have an incentive, or if you want to, if you want to address a big audience, it's much better to do it in a conference room and on stage, and it's much more impressive, and so it's definitely not that. And we are back to what we did before COVID. In 2019, it took a while to recover. That's true, but I mean, the event site is booming, and people love to travel to other destinations and have big meetings.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
good for you. Well, good for the whole industry. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't
talking
fun
about-
during COVID, I can tell you that.
No, it's been a tough ride for all of us. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Chef Maroun, talking about changes, of course, also the world of food and beverage has changed a lot over the last 5-10 years. What changes have you seen in the last couple of years, and where do you see it going in the future? I know it's a very broad question, but I want to do it on purpose so you can take whatever roads you want to know.
I was going to tell you it's a very broad question. Well, during I think until COVID, talking about COVID, that we had like a straight line of business in the hospitality industry all over the world. So where we have the restaurant, we have the hotels, we have the dine-in, the dine-out, we have the delivery, which was like so timid. And after COVID, or during COVID, all the cloud kitchen emerged. It was there before COVID. In fact, the dark kitchen or the cloud kitchens. But can
you explain, Chef? Perhaps not everyone might know what that is. The cloud kitchen.
Cloud kitchen or a dark kitchen. It's like you have a virtual restaurant online on a delivery app where you order through the delivery app. But it's not necessarily that this restaurant physically exists. There is only a small kitchen where this restaurant deliver, or this brand deliver its food. And there are big companies today where they have a huge kitchen where they deliver for many brands and many restaurants that we know, and they're so, let me say, famous. So this is what we call dark kitchen. So no physical place. No idea. Only kitchen, delivery lines. So like if you can go to a kitchen of a cloud kitchen company, let's say I have Ritage, so I rent a space, I give them my menu, I give them my food, I train them, and then they bring the people, and they are responsible of producing and delivering based on my standards. And they do the same in the same kitchen, and they do like small my equipment, and this is it. So this has emerged a lot. And it's a multi-billion-dollar business now all over the world. This has emerged. Obviously, also now I think what people are looking more when going out to restaurant, they're looking for three things, which I look for even. Obviously, they look for the food, and they look for the mood, and they look also for nice booze, nice cocktails.
Yeah.
Even if you go today to a Michelin-starred restaurants, so they started to focus also on the mood. Food goes without saying.
Yeah.
But yes, people want to go out not only to eat, because all of us, we work long days. So in the evening, we want to have like a perfect meal with the perfect mood, and a nice obviously booze is always there. Yeah. So this is an axe where we ourselves, we have two restaurants. We have one that is high-end casual dining that you visited one day, which is
yes.
Garden, and we have Maison Georgette, which is a high-end contemporary Lebanese, which is gastronomic, 52 seats. And this is there also where we focus on the food and work on the mood. And so people today, I think, started to go more. It has no relation with the check that you pay. It can be a high check or a small check. And also in the food trends, we're going today, people, they're more into this cosmopolitan food, into the Asian influence is becoming so trendy. The Peruvian influence is becoming so trendy. And the Nikkei cuisine is becoming also present, which I love and I like, in fact. And obviously Lebanese cuisine, I have to say,
yes,
it's taking its part in this era, because Lebanese cuisine is always liked throughout the history by. So yeah.
So yeah, Lebanese cuisine is considered kind of the mother of Middle Eastern cuisines, right? How come? What makes Lebanese food so special?
You know, Lebanese food is, we are part of the Levant area, okay, and of the Middle Eastern area. But what makes it different, I'll tell you, because, you know, Lebanon have been throughout the history like a crossing part for like many civilization who passed through Lebanon from the French to the Ottoman to the Egyptian, and that left its mark. And what makes it more different is because Lebanese has traveled a lot. So they traveled all over the world, and they always used to come back to Lebanon and bring with them these influences and bring with them these refinement. And we have a lot of French influence that gave a lot of refinement to our cuisine. And we chefs also, we played a major role in the past 10, 15 years in moving the Lebanese cuisine from being, you know, what it is, for being much more refined. And this is, I think, what's make it different, what's make it really different from its Mid-Eastern counterpart cuisines. It's the people who traveled, who brought in more modernity, more lifestyle, more, and you know, in Lebanon, in Beirut, we're known, so we are great in hospitality and creating new concepts. Doesn't necessarily has to be Lebanese. It can be any kind of cuisine or any kind of concept that you can imagine. And we are, and Lebanon is known to be the hub of the hospitality in the region.
Yeah. I experienced it myself. I can.
I went to Lebanon and I loved it. It's amazing.
So next time you come, Kai, so you have a new this.
No, I absolutely loved it. It was one of the best cities that I visited, I must say. And like you said, everybody had this passion for food, and the food was delicious. You know, I really liked it. Lovely people and nice bars and nice clubs. It was ever so trendy. It really, really was. I was totally gobsmacked.
Same here. We'll have to go together, Kai. Yeah.
It's a melting pot. Beirut is a melting pot of cultures, you know.
Yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit, Kai, going back to you. You say now you represent, of course, independent individual hotels. How, perhaps good for students to know and future professionals, how is it different for them to work in a branded, a chain hotel as opposed to an individual property? How would you compare and contrast those?
Yeah, I worked in chain hotels, and you know, I think it's really good for your education. You know, I mean, they're lovely hotels, and you have everything there. The whole setup is there. When you work for an independent hotels, you don't have this setup. I mean, I'm talking from the sales side, and you know, like I mentioned that before. When you work for Marriott, you have a sales office all over the world, and you will get inquiries automatically, basically, from these offices into your hotel. But an independent hotel doesn't have that, so you have to use other ways, and you have to be more creative sometimes in order to, you know, fill your hotel. And yeah, and I always liked that. I mean, I worked for the chain hotels, like I said, but then I also worked for independent hotels, and I just preferred it. And now we represent independent hotels, and these are lovely hotels. You know, we also work with small or to medium-sized hotel chains. They also don't have this big setup, and you know, we have some amazing hotels in our portfolio, and they. You know, like if you go on our website, it's hotelrepublic.com, and you can see we work with some of the best hotels, it's best independent hotels of the world, and you know, they have good conference space. They have a lot of bedrooms, and we can place some really nice groups there, and car launches, pharmaceutical meetings. You know, we have events from the fashion industry. I mean, you know, it's a really nice industry to work with.
I agree.
You know, and the events that we sell to our hotels, you know, the revenue sometimes is like £500,000 or £1 million. You know, you know, these are big events, and the corporate companies have the money. You know.
Good. Let keep spending that money.
So far.
Good. Chef Maroun, you transitioned, well, of course, with your own restaurant, but then, of course, and being a chef, and then you became a celebrity chef, right? With your own TV shows, you're a top chef, you have your merchandise, your cookbooks. How do you manage all those things? How did it change you, or did it not change you? And how do you manage all those, again, moving parts, right?
It's challenging. In fact, it's so challenging, and for me, it's when I started the business, when I started on my own as an entrepreneur, obviously it took me a while, some years, let's say, to understand that I'm not a chef anymore. I became something else.
Yeah.
No, I say I am a chef by heart, of course, but today I'm I'm a chef by nature. Let me say, but I'm an entrepreneur by what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of mistakes, obviously, and we all as entrepreneurs
we all
make mistakes. It's never in a company that you build, and you build it from day zero until you become whatever you become. It's faultless. It's never faultless because we learn from those mistakes. And what I learned is to be surrounded with a great team. I used to manage everything myself. Today, in fact, it's been the first beginning of this week. I used to have a GM. It took me. But this is one of the things that I learned. I used to have a GM. He was a great one, but I know he wasn't maybe the perfect one. And when he left, well, I said, and now I know the profile I want. It took me 8 months now to just choose the right profile for the business, who can help me in developing and growing the business, and who can take from my shoulder all the managerial, the day-to-day part of, obviously we have the strategy, we have the direction, we know where we're going. So I can be more on the development part. I can be more even in the kitchen. I like to be in the kitchen with the team. I like always to work on new recipes. Though and now I know that I need great chefs. So now we're recruiting great chefs. We're recruiting pastry chefs. So as we can grow, that's how I can manage. Because today, if you tell me the day is 24 hours, I would tell you it's not enough. I can't keep on doing this for so long. So yes, it's about the team, and I'm passionate. I love what I do.
Yeah, it's important.
And as Kai said, the attention to details becomes natural, and it becomes embodied in us. So you are so meticulous and perfectionist in what you do. Also, it makes your life hard. You know what I mean? Because wherever you go, you see imperfection.
Yeah, it's never good enough. Yeah.
Which is sometimes the client doesn't see it, but you see it. But sometimes say, well, what do? I intervene, or so today I wouldn't. I would go to somebody else. Please, I saw this, solve it.
Yeah.
Before I used to jump myself. So it's a learning process at the end of the day, to be able to manage. Because if you want to be successful, if you want to grow, if you want to be more international, more regional, it's about working with the people, delegating, and delegating, but being always on top of your business.
Yeah. Well, Kai, the same for you, right? But both of you, right, are entrepreneurs. You started your own business. I'm sure. Yeah, are you now celebrating your 20th anniversary, Kai? What was it?
Yes. We had our party. So I started the company in 2004. So now it's 2024. It's 20 years.
Yeah.
So we had a party 2 days ago in London with 178 people, and we basically invited all our conference bookers, all the people who book events, our incentives, and who have supported us over the last 20 years. And all our hotels came over. We had hotels coming from Dubai, from Istanbul. I mean, you name it. They came from Spain, from everywhere. And we had a little exhibition. And then we had a big party afterwards. It was nice. It was really nice. A sit-down meal, for everyone. And it went really well. We had some amazing feedback. If you look,
congratulations.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we should be invited next time, I think. On the 30th.
Yes, yes. Count both of us in. Yeah. Nice.
No, it was a lovely event. We are still buzzing now. You know, and the team and I, we spent 6 months on this event, and you know, we were all really nervous, but it went well, and it was lovely.
Right. One more question, and then I'll open up also for the audience, for our listeners and viewers. Can both of you tell us a nice story, an anecdote, something unique experience that has happened throughout your career, something that really stuck with you, whether it was with a guest or with someone in your team, some kind of showcasing, how great our industry is, right? What can happen to you? What can overcome, or something you're proud of, an accomplishment, something.
Well, I have a funny story that happened to me, but it's you know, I'm not proud of it. It's when I was at Disney, and I was looking after all the English and German groups, and very rarely I would look after a French group because my French wasn't that good. And but you know, I mean, I got by. I can speak in French. It's fine, but it wasn't perfect, and I felt more comfortable with my English groups and my German groups. But then I had to ask this lady in French if she had chosen her food. And I asked her in French, est-ce que vous avez choisi votre bouffe? And that didn't go down too well. But I thought it was a really nice word. I've heard it so many times. Other people talked about la bouffe, but apparently it's not what you say. No. So yeah, that's something that stuck to me. I never forget this word, and I don't think I will make that mistake again. That was funny.
Good. Our French listeners will be happy to hear that. Yeah, nice. Chef Maroun, what? Well, you must have. You being a celebrity, I'm sure you must have thousands of amazing stories.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's there are things that's. When I started this industry, you know, I told you where I came from. I don't know if it's funny. It's funny at the same time, and it makes us learn at this from the other hand. So I started. You know, it was the first time I work in a restaurant, and so the maitre d' told me I was in a ski resort in Lebanon. I was still at school, and this I never forget. I always tell this. And one of the maitre d' told me, go to the kitchen and ask the chef, where is the Ferrières sandwich, if it's ready or not. You must laugh at me now, but back then I didn't know what Ferrières is. Okay? So I went back to the kitchen and I asked the chef, and everyone started to laugh at me. But from then, you know, I think it was a motivation for me to leave the service and go to the kitchen. And I think it was one of the best things that happened, because this gave me motivation to go and work only in the kitchen and become what I am today.
Good.
So yeah, you know, it's a lot of things that goes with us, you know, but this is one of the things sometimes I like to share, you know. Yeah. Sometimes also, you know, and some kind of competition, you know. In 2005, I did the Bocuse d'Or in France, and it's very tough competition, very, very tough. I've been training for 2 years. I never slept, and I never slept. And when I went there, you know, we started the competition 5 hours and a half. You have to start from scratch, sleepless nights, 2 years preparation, a lot of investments, and you know, emotionally you become so overwhelmed. And I still remember when I finished and this is a learning, you know, for everyone who's listening to us, because nothing comes easy. No. So I went to the backstage when I sent my 2 platters, and then I should be happy because I have done very well, but I start crying. Crying of happiness, crying of what, I don't know, but it was a lot of pressure. And this was in 2005, almost like. So, but I think that also I like to tell these stories. This you call it stories, you call it experiences, you call it anecdotes. But these are things that happen with us. That's really make us forge us. Forge us. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, many funny stories also happen. You know, it's
Yeah. Perhaps, well, the last, and then I really, well, perhaps a word of wisdom for people who, for young, I mean, you've already come, well, perhaps a little bit younger, perhaps, but you've come a long way already. What is something you would like young people to know who are about to embark on a career in hospitality? A word of wisdom or something you wish you knew when you were 20, 15, 16, 17 years old, 20, and what you know now, something perhaps you can share.
Yeah, I think you really need to want to work in hospitality, and you need to have a passion for it. If you think, or if you have any doubts, I wouldn't go into a career if I had any doubts. I would only go into hospitality if I really, really want to do it, and if I can see myself working there for the rest of your life. And you don't have to work in the same hotel, obviously, or in the same department. You have to work yourself up, and you don't get a manager position immediately. But you need to really want to do well, and you need to see your future. And I think then hospitality is amazing. There's so much to do. And I mean, I worked in Berlin, I worked in Paris, I worked in Saint-Barthélemy in the French West Indies. I am now living in London, and I think, if you have a passion for travel, then just do it. I mean, especially when you're young. I was 20 years old when I went to Saint Barthélemy. And God, I mean, I worked every day, but I had time to go to the beach every day as well. And, when you're 20, that's fantastic. So, yeah, I can highly recommend it.
Nice.
But you have to be prepared to work yourself up, up on the ladder. You don't get a manager position on day one, and I mean, when I started at Disney, at the beginning I was carrying bags and suitcases, and I parked cars, and then I got promoted to reception, and from there I went on to other departments, and then I ended up in convention sales, and I organized really big events for 2,000, 3,000 people. We had some amazing events there. So it doesn't come immediately, so you have to be patient, and you will make mistakes, and I have made a few. But when you make a mistake, you have to own up to it, and from then, you ask for help, and
important.
And then when it's solved, you won't make that mistake again. So, but it's a lovely, lovely industry. I'm so glad that I did what I did, and at one point I didn't want to work in hotels, so that's why I opened up my own agency, and now I work with the hotels, for hotels, but it's still hotel related. So there are so many avenues that you can take.
Yeah, very nice. Chef Maroun, you want to add something?
Well, Kai almost said it all. It's about the passion, in fact, and to be in this industry, you really have to be passionate about it. And one of the key element of success in this industry, other than what all Kai mentioned, I think is the commitment to what we do, is commitment to excellence, commitment to service, commitment to the long hours. And also it's very important not to stop, or to keep, let me say it otherwise, to keep on working on themselves, to keep on educating themselves, to keep on learning, because in this industry you can never stop learning. You should keep on learning and learning and learning every day, every moment, from your colleagues, from your peers, going to universities, study, read books, see what's happening around you, around the world. So to be on top of your career, on top of your game, on top of whatever you're doing in a restaurant, in a hotel, in a 5-star hotel, in a hotel chain, individual, in any part of this industry. So yes, for me, learning is a process that never finish.
And ask questions.
Wise words,
I think that's always
let's quickly go into into questions. So I open up the floor. Please, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and happy to. If there are questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, as I said earlier.
everybody's typing.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations, Kai, to you. Happy birthday to Hotel Republic. Yes, it's all about the experience. Yeah, you hear here. Yeah. So please, what are free to add your questions? A little shy today. I'm not sure. Usually we have.
Maybe we were great and we covered it all.
Yeah, well,
so
it has been quite exhaustive for sure. Any questions you would like to ask to, for instance, well, actually, before we started, Kai and me, we were kind of also, amongst others, impressed about the number of followers that you have, Chef Maroun, in Instagram. What's the role, the importance of social media? Well, perhaps for both of you, but let's start with Chef Maroun.
So yeah,
how important has that become for your business, for your success?
Well, social media is very important, and social media is like a knife with double edge. And this is we should understand. You know, social media, if we don't know the right way, how to do it, how to deal with it, and how to interact with it, it can really damage us and damage our reputation. But if we manage it well, and if we have really the right team behind our social media platforms, and the content that we create on a monthly, on a weekly, and on a daily basis, and what we want to deliver for all our followers and the people who really like believe in us, it becomes very dangerous. But if we do it right, then the sky is not the limit. And for the business, it's very important because, you know, whenever I want to communicate anything about the business, obviously we have the Heritage, we have the Academy, we have for every business unit, we have its own platform. But my personal one is like it's only business, and it's the driver for all our accounts. And it's a lot in communicating and saying whatever I want to say, and also in interacting with the people. So we have also a lot of requests that comes from social media, be it mainly it's business. So yeah, social media is very important for the business and for what we do today.
Kai, you also use social media a lot?
We use I mean, LinkedIn I find really important for us. You know, we are not a celebrity anything. So I'm just using LinkedIn, and I find that very important because obviously you link yourself to the event community, and you know, you get all the updates there. And then we have Instagram. But I always say it's quality, not quantity. And you know, I mean, I've seen a few you know, social or Instagram, you know, profiles from people, and they have bought followers, and you can tell. You just have to scroll down, and all of a sudden you see all these different, you know. And I find that even worse. You know, so I would never want to do that. Or you know, the followers we have, they are followers who want to hear from us, and I think that's it. You know, yeah.
Exactly. You know, it's important also, as Kai said, is to know in social media on which platform to use it for what. Because what works on LinkedIn doesn't work on X. What works on X doesn't work on Instagram. So, and this is where also it comes in a crucial important, having the people that advise you, because I don't know anything. I don't know everything to manage, you know. So in every field of the business, you need to have people who can help in advising and in driving forward all this kind of communication. So yeah.
Well, both of you were saying it, right? You're only really as good as your team, right? So it's
I mean, team is very important, and you know, we have somebody in our team who does social media, and she's much younger than us, and she's very good at it. So yeah, let's do it. Delegate. And,
here we go.
And she's doing a fantastic job.
Nice, good. Gentlemen, I could keep talking for hours and hours, but all good things come to an end. So I would like to thank both of you, and I really agree here what we hear. Thank you for sharing with us all, and it says here also thank you for your insights and your experience, your passion, and your paths, and being very humble too. Yes, I fully agree. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. It's been an incredible hour, very enriching. So thank you so much. And to our audience, I would like to say just quickly for housekeeping that on Wednesday, January 31st, we're going to have a webinar, an open house, an open door at 6 p.m. Paris time for those who don't want to know more about our programs. And then on Saturday, February 3rd, we're going to have a real open door, an open house at Ferrières at the Chateau from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And both, whether it's online or face-to-face, and we'll be happy to share more about our bachelor, our master, our pastry and cooking programs as well. And yes, please also look us up. We'll talk about social media. We are on LinkedIn. We are at Instagram. We are at TikTok. So please join us and follow us there. And then once again, thank you very much to all of you for your interest and for your patience. Yeah. And I look forward to see you next month for our 5th Ferrières Insight on Wednesday, February 21st, also at 6 p.m. with 2 other beautiful guests. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great
it was a pleasure.
rest of the day. Thank you, Kai.
Thank you. Now,
Chef.
Imagine we had a conference now, then the conference would end and Maroun would cook for us now and would taste this food. And now on Zoom, we can't do it.
No.
You see?
This is the advantage of Zoom, you see.
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shukran. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dankeschön.
Bye.
Tschüss. Bye-bye.